you've read about it in the book, but it's more potent live and when we apply it to your life. That whole concept of story, that we think our stories are real and we tell our story and then we recreate our story and then we tell our story and we recreate our story. And the more we tell our story, the more true that story gets, and then we go, see, I told you it was true. And so when you hear yourself telling your story, if it's not an empowering story, I make up empowering stories. I've been accused of tampering with reality. People go, you just make things up. And I go, yeah, and your point is? Because you make it real. As you tell your story, you're generating a vibration that pulls in more of that story. So when you hear yourself telling your story, you can ask yourself, is this story empowering? Is this story making me feel better? And if the answer is no, then you might want to consider a new story. You just might want to. And again, I know that story has proved itself out true. I know that. But that doesn't mean anything. That just means that the story runs like this. Sort of like the spin cycle in a commercial washer, but it never times out. As long as the story's spinning, that reality keeps getting generated. Now, you start telling a different story, and more importantly, and you're going to have the capacity to do this, feeling a different story. See, it's the reason affirmations don't work all that great, because you're not really feeling a new story. It's like saying a new story, but not feeling a new story. Well, Divine Openings gives you that capacity to move that old feeling, so you're not only saying a new story, you're feeling a new story. You're not saying, oh, I make $150,000 a year, but vibrating I make 25. You know, you're not contradicting yourself. You're not saying I have the perfect relationship but vibrating, but love hurts and I could get hurt if I do that. Or as you move that emotion, you can tell a new story and begin to believe it. I wouldn't even bother to tell the new story much if you don't believe it yet. I'd go for moving the feeling first. Move the feeling first. If you say an affirmation and you notice that part of you goes, that's your cue that it's contradicted, and something needs to move before that can become a reality for you, before you can believe it. Because the emotion is the juice behind it. When you're saying, I have this thing I want, and the juice behind it is going, no you don't, no you don't, no you don't, then your energy is at best split, and at worst, the emotion's going to win out over the thought every single time. And if there's something that your heart truly desires that hasn't happened, there's a split energy somewhere. There's some energy that says, no, I don't really want that. I had a great example of this that came clear to me. I'd watch some of my friends, well, before I even knew some of these folks, I'd look at teachers who travel all over and teach all over, and I'd go, I want to do that. And then one day it got really clear to me that the reason I'd traveled a little bit, but not traveled all over constantly, is I don't want to do that. I don't really look good to the head, but I don't really want to be traveling all the time. I don't realize there was contradicted energy in there, but good contradicted energy. My large self knew that what I really wanted was to be home a lot, and so created that internet thing where I get to be home a lot. And then every now and then go to a few special places. Or have people come to me. I just get out of bed, here we are. Yeah, and have it fairly low key. So, whenever something is not happening, you can be sure there's some contradicted energy. It may be contradicted by your true heart's desire, or it may be contradicted by some past experience that ouched. And you're not quite ready to go risk it again. Yeah. But just know that. Just know I'm not ready to go risk it again. I'm just not ready to go there. It's not happening because I'm not ready. Yeah. So your story, a story that might be productive in that case is, it's coming. I'm just not ready yet. It's coming. I'm getting out of the way. Yeah, it's coming. I'm moving old stagnant energies that are sending me that way while I say I want to go that way. Anybody got a story that is sticky? Do y'all have any thoughts at all? Which would be okay too.
You mean, is there a thought left in our head?
Yeah. If anybody's got a thought left in your head, and you wanted to practice, because it does take practice. See, the old habit is letting thoughts just land in your mind and taking them seriously, and believing them, and going by them, and living by them, and being limited by them. That's the old habit. So the practice will be, this is your 10%. Practice is saying, oh, well, that thought just came in for a landing, but it can just take off again as far as I'm concerned. I don't particularly find it alluring or helpful. Don't resist it. Don't argue with it. Don't fight it. Don't debate it. Don't do anything with it. Just let it remove your energy from it. Remove your attention. And it will die on the vine. It will die from lack of energy. It's your energy that you'd be giving it if you gave it any. It would be sucking your energy. It's not you. You're not your thoughts. And you've heard this a million times, but you're really going to get it to a degree that you've never gotten before. You are not your thoughts. Those are not you. Some of them just floated in from the collective consciousness. And you know, now with emotions, once it's hit you, you want to feel it and move it through. With thoughts, yeah, whatever works for you. It floats on by like a cloud. Whatever works for you. Let it come to you what is most in attunement with you. And don't let thoughts take you anywhere you don't want to go. They will occur and offer to. Yeah.
It started to happen at lunch.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get it.
Thoughts, well, be careful you're not resisting. Be careful that you just say, lightly let it go. Lightly let it go. That is not a thought that I deliberately generated. That is a thought that I accidentally generated. And I'm not living accidentally. I'm living deliberately. I'm using my creative ability. And my mind is like a laser beam that whatever I focus on ignites and materializes. You know, with enough focus, don't worry about little thoughts. They're not going to materialize instantly until you get really good at this. And they will. So, just pay attention to your thoughts. And some of you are already witnessing your thoughts quite a bit anyway. They go by, and it's almost like you can see them parade by. You can literally see them. They parade by, and you go, what is that? Or it parades by, and you go, hey, that's pretty good. It parades by, and you go, that's a good idea. Yeah, I think I will go dancing. So you'll more and more be witnessing your thoughts, and you'll be discerning. Is that one that I deliberately created, or is that one that I want? Was that one that came from divine inspiration, or was it just junk mail? You know, how many of your emails do you just delete? You don't push against them. You just delete. It's just like, not what I wanted. I want this, not that. I want this, not that.